Good morning, saints. Well, we're still in church, so I have to use my saint talk. Well, I want y'all to know that I have never been so abused. My arm is hurting from all of the deletes I've had to do since I put up this post about Little Richard yesterday. All right, let's play. Okay, as I said, I get these things from, I know the holy people are going to come after me, child, every time you say anything about the Bible. They came on strong this time, so let me see what it said. I'm only going to take one because I've erased all of them, virtually all of them. That's an automatic delete when they start writing stuff out of the Bible. I like people to think. I like people to talk, use their thoughts, not just read something out of a book. But I think, anyway, let me start off like this. Okay, so I'm going to read what Sheila G. Now, I can't read all your stuff, Sheila G, because you done wrote me, oh my God, like a novel of all the do's and don'ts. Okay. All right, I'm going to try to do it. Hold on. Let me get my stuff together here. Sheila G. wrote 5 hours ago. Hi, be careful what be careful what you, oh, wait a minute. Be careful. I want you to go read Proverbs 18, verse 21. It speaks about the power in the tongue, the power for death or life. The tongue can bring death and life, so be careful. Also, I'm not sure if you are aware that we are judged when we die for every word that we utter, careless or not. So when you sit in judgment and saying someone cannot repent and change their ways to follow Jesus Christ, you need to be careful because you do not want to be on the side of the devil. God's word is true. I don't know Little Richard's life and how he changed his life or what, but if he comes out and says that he wants to make a difference in his life and he's messed up and a gay relationship is unnatural, that actually it is true God has not ordained man and man to be gathered, but woman and man. But people can choose whatever way they want to live. God is not twisted anybody's arm to live whatever way they want to live. And I'm not also, we have choices in our lives. All right, that's part of it. Then Sheila G went on and wrote me a whole nother one in case I didn't get it that time. This other one's longer. I'm not even going to get into more of this. But it's so cute. You know, I love my Christian brothers and sisters. I really do. I think it's so wonderful. The church among black people has always been a positive influence. I mean, they've done good, but they've done a lot of evil that they're not aware of. That's why they get so mad when people film them in these churches. When people film and post what they say in the church, they're embarrassed about it and ashamed of it because they know it's wrong. So, I'm telling you, my wrist is killing me from all these deletes I have to do. Then I have to delete you permanently because I don't want to be bothered with you no more. So I don't know if you just saying you disagree with me. Is it fair then to delete you forever? Or are you just disagreeable? Anyway, so they ain't like what I wrote about Little Richard. Let me tell you something about religion. I ain't got nothing against the people. You know, that's part of our heritage. A big part, when I came out as a homosexual back in 1976, I went with the gay community. Mostly white folks in the gay community. I say all that to say, I didn't experience a lot of the stuff that some of my friends have experienced. I go to a gay church at this point, and a lot of these guys are from churches, and there's horrendous stories of the way they sit up there and been battered, bashed. All their life, they had to shed so much in order to become a Christian. Well, it wasn't like that for me. When I was young, I didn't believe it. I didn't listen to it. My family, you know, they were church folks, so I went occasionally for, you know, little holidays and stuff like that. But I didn't have to take all this baggage off of me. Now, this woman, in order to talk to me or to make a point. She doesn't have any personal belief. She reads it in a book, like it's a recipe or something. Not able to think, not able to communicate. That woman done sit up here and wrote me all these damn words that don't mean nothing. When I get through talking, I'm going to delete her. But I guess I should address this thing. What part of it do I want to address? Let me give you an example. I think your faith is beautiful. So that's why I don't just go full in calling people all kind of horrible things because they go to church. I think your faith, that part of it is wonderful. It's okay to seek God. It's okay to wonder why you have hands and livers and kidneys and everything is a design. You know, you got a mouth, you got teeth in the mouth so that you can chew the food up. And then you got a whole process to go into the food. All of this stuff is the design. So you can't deny there's God. I don't understand intelligent people who deny that there's God, period. Obviously, it has to be designed. You don't just have a neck. That's why I got to put that on there or decide you need it on there. Eyebrows, keep the dust out your eyes, all that. So in that way, I think religion is fine. It's just pursuing God, trying to find God, trying to connect, right? But my issue, and anybody who listens to me knows that my issue is this thing about this Bible. The Bible. I ain't going to say it. I know everybody's saying, oh, here he goes now. That Bible ain't God. The Bible ain't God. We get it. We know the Bible ain't God. Okay, so I'm going to refrain from that way. Attack it from a different way. I'm going to tell you about, okay, she's talking about deliverance. Little Richard can be delivered at 80 if he wants to. Of course he can. He's sitting in a wheelchair. What different? I tried to explain to my grandmother before she passed. She still want to talk about gay and homosexual, all this kind of stuff. Girl, I want to tell her, girl, it's been years. That is no longer even an issue anymore. Eventually, that's just not an issue anymore. Because you mean my essence is a sin? If I ain't fucking and sucking, there's no sin, right? So I guess that means I'm heterosexual. But are old people? Are old straight people, 83 years old in a wheelchair, are they having sex with people? So why are they heterosexual? There's no sexual. Little Richard has done nothing, honey. He didn't run his mouth. Remember Richard, when back when he came out before, he had become a preacher. He put on his black suit. But Richard is not a highly intelligent man. This is just a country guy raised in religion. He went back to his religion. If that makes them feel good when they're sitting around, it probably makes it a little easier for them to sit in crowds of other old people. So he don't, I'll denounce them, but it don't mean anything, honey. When you sacrifice something, that is when you deliver it. Like when I got delivered from dope, I gave up doing drugs. That was a major sacrifice because that's all I knew. That was a lifestyle. But to be delivered from it, I have to be doing it. Right? Let me sit up here and say, anyway. Let me try to stay focused up. Okay. In AA, 12-step, y'all heard of that. In 12-step meetings, it's a spiritual program. A lot of people don't realize that. But they have spirituality without the Bible. Now imagine that. In other words, is there God without the Bible? What if you don't even look at the Bible? What if you never even touched a Bible? Is there still God? Is God still able to answer prayer? Now, in my experience, I don't go to AA meetings, stuff like that. I don't want to confuse things. My deliverance is directly from God. I'm going to leave it just like that. I don't want to challenge it in any way. But I know, my own experience, hundreds of people who follow that program, 12-step program, they call their God a higher power. And it works beautifully. They pray just the same way I pray. They acknowledge when God works in their life just the same way I do. They've done it without any of the story in the Bible. You can be spiritual without the Bible. Being spiritual, just accepting that there is a design. There is a God, there's a power that holds this whole damn thing together. You people done latched onto this book like this is God himself. And it is not. Now you believe what you want to believe. And I'm not going to get up here hooping and hollering, although part of my spirit wants to just hoop it. I wish I could preach. I wish I can get up here and hoop and holler like y'all do, child, and just let it all out. Every thought I ever dreamed. I can't do that. But what I'm saying is this. If I do not believe in voodoo, you can bring any witch, any sorcerer, anybody else in here want to put a spell on me. It ain't going to work on me because I don't believe it. Do you understand? The power is in your faith. What you believe. That's where your deliverance is. That's where your power is. Jesus said, the just will live by their faith, not by that book. Ain't nobody said nothing about that book. Jesus Christ never even saw it. He wasn't alive. Christ was not a Christian. Lord have mercy. These people, y'all need to stop with all this writing, all this scripture stuff. That's just a complete and total, utter waste of time. Because if the people are not willing to believe it, it don't mean nothing to them. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm not going to read Proverbs this, and I'm not going to read Matthew this. What do you mean you read Matthew this? Go and read a letter written by Paul to the Corinthian church? Or isn't that just a letter written by Paul? How did it become the word of God? There's something you have to follow now. You know, I don't want to say people is stupid and ignorant, but I just wish we could get past this Bible. You can have God without reading these words. Spend more time in prayer and meditation. Just acknowledge that God has done this in my life every morning for me on my knees. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Just acknowledge whatever the spiritual power is in the world. Thank you. Don't come to me with reading some stuff in that book. All the different writers, that you made them all God. In other words, you're saying that anything that appears in that book is from God. So Paul was a God. Paul was the same as Jesus. They had the same amount of power. John, Luke, Matthew, everybody's the same as God, right? Sarah. Go through all most of the books in the Bible are just stories of people's families. So all of them are gods too, right? What are you saying? Read it in the Bible. Read what they said. Should I go and read David's poetry? Oh my God, I spit off. Oh, Lord, the demons is trying to get me. Listen, I'm not hostile towards spiritual people. And I think many things you do is beautiful. I don't think there's anything wrong with having faith. I do believe that God can deliver. God will deliver. You believe. But I don't think now you got this relationship with God where you pick up a book and read and there he is. You know, where I pick up the book and this God's right here. No. I reject that. All right, so was there a point here? Let me see. Oh, just that you guys are all getting erased. So I'm sorry if you're offended. I don't think Little Richard is giving up anything when he says he's delivered from homosexuality. God bless that brother. Ain't nothing wrong. If Little Richard wants to say, I no longer suck dick, even though I haven't sucked one in 30 years, that's on him. That is that man's business. But you guys get on here and trying to be famous about how you done, there's the offense. Get on here like you are going to be famous because you are delivered. God has delivered you. You're going to change lives. All you're going to do is confuse another group of nuts. That's who you affect. You don't affect a normal person. I ain't going to say me. I'm going to say anybody. A normal person with average intelligence is not going to accept that bullshit. But there are always going to be Andrew Caldwells in the audience. Always. There are going to be people who are weak in the mind. People who are searching for answers. And that's the only people you're going to have sitting there talking about they delivered and all that foolishness. You want to write that? Let me give you Andrew's phone. Oh, I can't give no numbers out. Okay. Y'all go find Andrew and talk that shit to him because he receives it. So you have to believe it. I don't believe it, so it's a waste of time. Good morning and have a nice Monday. God bless you, honey.